Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself. I'll sit down and do the review. Do the review. It's not live. Look fresh. Wear red raw. Proud raw. Proudly ran by Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Guys, recently I refreshed over a post that I saw from one of my inspirations here on YouTube, which of course is just Alex. And he mentioned, although we speak our displeasures about Vince McMahon on Twitter, there's people who, displeasure how much the shows suck in WWE right now. And probably will be till God knows when. Because Vince McMahon somehow, some way, even when he's in the grave, will find his way waltzing right back in and making sure everything is the way he wants it to be. And I know I said I was done ranting and done just saying let it go. It is what it is. Then they do this. They do this. They revert back to the old ways of not just relying on the talent who are in the ring, but the people who just waltzed right in, had 4 stinking matches. Yes, they were 4 awesome matches, but he only won 2, and those were the first 2 he's had, and he's lost the last 2, and he can just make a phone call and ask, and he can be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Oh, that's just awesome. That's just great booking. We are there to see people just walk in, have no freaking experience whatsoever, even though they've proven that they can wrestle in the ring. They've only had 4 stinking matches, and the last 2 they've lost, and they can just walk into an opportunity, don't have to qualify, and that is that. And again, get your ass roasted by L.A. Knight. Yeah, I don't care that SmackDown stars appeared in that segment. Honestly, that was the best part. We will talk about that. Oh, I'm going to rip this show apart. Rip it from limb to limb. I was actually going to change the graphics for this. Because I was going to mention, once again, how apparently nothing matters right now in WWE except their names are either Vince McMahon, Roman Reigns, or Logan Paul. Okay, the Roman Reigns stuff, I'm cool with. But Logan Paul and Vince McMahon, especially when I hear you diss on somebody who's Christian and someone who is a firm believer in God, and diss on that stuff makes me even lose more respect for you for dissing on someone else's beliefs. I'm sorry. We'll save Logan Paul for last. But I want to talk about the rest of Raw. But of course, I must introduce myself. And also, by the way, let me get this out of the way too. I post opinions on Twitter. When I do live tweet, I've been trying to live tweet again during shows recently, because I haven't been for a while. I've been trying to. This past Monday on Raw, I almost considered deleting my Twitter. Because yes, I voiced some opinions. Yes, I had some rage like Kevin Owens. But here's the thing. Who was the only person I was really, dissing on? Vince McMahon, right? Why do other random stranger people have to come on my Twitter and tell me to F off and do this, and that? If you don't agree with me, just don't bother me. Or just say that I'm sorry, I disagree, this, and this. Don't tell me to F off, you're an idiot, this, and that. I don't tolerate that. Whether it's on my videos, comments, live, Twitter, Instagram posts, TikTok, whatever. I could be wrong. I'm not the smartest wrestling fan in the world. That is 100% true. I am not the smartest wrestling fan in the world. I'm not even the most reliable wrestling fan in the world. But again, we all have our opinions. We state them, you either agree or disagree, and move on. Those who want to just tell me to F off and this, and that, I don't have time to talk to you. But let's get into this review, because I don't have much time. But I do want to be able to talk about this show, of course, because that's what I do. What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man, 1993. And in order to be superior to Logan Paul, in order to be superior to the man, you don't have to be Logan Paul. I'm sorry. You've got to be the man. And for I am not Logan Paul. I am the man himself. And this is my review of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, the Juneteenth episode, 2023 of Raw. And it took place 2 hours, well, maybe a little less now since I'm a little close to the border now, but just a little less than 2 hours away in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah. Even, of course, outside, well, let me put it this way. I got off to a hot start on Raw this week. I thought the first half hour, 45 minutes, I was really feeling it. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is actually a good episode. I'm actually very into this. We're in Cleveland. We could be seeing Johnny Gargano appear on this show. I don't know, Seth Rollins had an open challenge. This, and this. We had a return of not just of a wrestler, of a theme song. The best theme song ever. And then the show just tanked. And I'm not just saying just tanked. Like, everything sucked. Like, there wasn't much. It was what it was. It sucked. The rest of the show just absolutely sucked. And of course, my least favorite part was definitely that promo by that idiot on a ladder. Until, of course, LA Knight came out and just roasted him and put him in his place. Yeah! That made me love LA Knight more, to be honest. And also, it was a slight bit of relief to hear him use his catchphrases, because I keep saying on my SmackDown reviews, LA Knight has been not really saying his catchphrases too often. It's not like he's either like toning them down, or like he's like resisting from saying them. Well, this week on Raw, he came out and just said, nope, I'm saying what I'm saying. Let me talk to you. And I'm just like, that's right. I was all fired up because I was already pissed off. But then when he came out and said all that and put Logan Paul in his place, I'm like, that's right. But of course, let's get into it. Let's talk about this episode of Raw. And again, we'll save Logan Paul for last. Because I got a lot I want to get off my chest about that. And again, let's put it this way. Yes, it's no secret, I despise Logan Paul. I'm not a fan of his whatsoever. And I can admit he's an awesome wrestler. And you know what? I could see him being a world champion with the talent he has in the ring. He has the right character. They're not shoving him down our throats as a heel. He has the right character he should be playing, a heel. And he's an awesome talent in the ring. My rant is not going to be personal feelings I have for the guy. It's somewhat. But the more reason, the position they're putting Logan Paul in is just something that I've been dealing with the entire time. My 10 years as a wrestling fan. And I'm just sick of it. So, not all of it's on Logan Paul. But it's still going to be a rant on Logan Paul. But again, we'll save Logan Paul for last. Let's talk about the rest of the show. Let's talk about the beginning part. The part that I actually did enjoy. So the show opened up. Seth Rollins made his entrance. He apparently was supposed to have an open challenge last Monday night. And I didn't get to watch the match, but I might check it out. He did have a match on NXT against Braun Breaker. And I heard it was pretty good. So I may check that match out. We'll see. Of course, the main reason why is probably just because, as people keep saying, the TV rights deals are up. And because NXT sucks, they got to do some stuff to, get some attention on NXT again. Just put NXT... Seriously, just put NXT back on the WWE Network or Peacock 1 hour pre-taped. Just do that again. Because again, the roster is just too green. There's not too many names down there that will catch the attention on NXT for live TV. I'm sorry. It's back to developmental. There's not many names that even intrigue me on NXT right now. So that's what they should do. But anyways, so Seth Rollins came out for his open challenge. And as he's soaking in the crowd singing, out of the blue comes Finn Balor, who attacks him and just does this vicious beatdown on him. It was even like a vicious beatdown that went from... that goes from in the ring to even backstage. So bad so that they, kayfabe-wise, wrote off his open challenge. Now, there is a reason why they wrote it off, I found out, apparently. And it was a change that was made. But I did like this beatdown. It was a nice, vicious beatdown by Finn Balor. And again, the story is there. Like, I do like the story built for this world title match. The only problem I have, though, is I know Finn Balor does not have a chance. No one is even considering putting that title on Finn Balor. Like, I'm 95% sure Finn Balor's not going to win at Money in the Bank next Saturday. But if that was not the case, I would say if I knew Vince didn't have his hands on the script, I would maybe say maybe Finn Balor has a shot. But since Triple H isn't completely in charge anymore because he has Vince McMahon in his ear basically calling the shots and he's writing it down on paper, and Triple H is slowly more and more surely drinking the Kool-Aid, I don't believe Finn Balor has a single shot against Seth Rollins. It'd be a good match, but I know Seth's going to win. It's just not going to... I don't know. But that was a good beatdown. But here's why they decide not to do the open challenge. Because afterwards, we have The Miz in the ring. Apparently, he said he was going to answer Seth Rollins' open challenge, and he was going to win the title. He talks about how he's a god in Cleveland, and now he's going to issue his own open challenge. And he drops the microphone, waiting for an answer. And then the next thing you hear is, "No one will survive." And I popped! Not only did Tommaso Ciampa come back, they gave him his old theme song back, "No One Will Survive." Guys, for those who've been watching me for the past... Well, it first came out in 2018, but I didn't revamp the channel until 2020 after a brief 7-month hiatus when my channel was down. But up until this past February, that was I used that as my intro on the channel. That is still probably my favorite theme song today. "No One Will Survive." I was so mad when they took that away. That was a Vince call. And of course, when I saw it, okay, Vince is obviously still around, but they still brought back the song. And I think the plan was, before Ciampa got injured, for them to bring back the song. And when they did, I'm like, yes! It's the best theme ever! I love that song. I absolutely love that theme song. And he came out and he did like a cheap shot to Miz, who at first was like, "Hey, buddy, good to see you again," because they were a duo. But then instead, he just blasted him and had a pretty solid match against Miz. He got the victory with the fairy tale ending. He had like he had a like exclusive backstage promo basically saying how he wants it all. He wants to be world champion. He wants to go from 1 to 30 in the Rumble. He wants Money in the Bank. He wants Survivor Series. He wants WrestleMania. An excellent fired up promo basically saying that he is a promo where a character is basically saying, I intend on being the best here right now. And I'm like, yes, let's go. So I'm all ready. Tommaso Ciampa's back. No One Will Survive is back. Now, originally, apparently the rumors were, the original plan was Tommaso Ciampa was going to answer Seth Rollins' open challenge. But Triple H decided not to do it in the end because he didn't want Tommaso Ciampa to lose. So, I get that. I get it. I'm cool with that. I understand that change. And again, I thought the beatdown from Balor was pretty darn good. And I think Rollins actually wrestled in the match last night on NXT with the with his taped up ribs from the beatdown. So he sold the beatdown good for what it looks like. We have a segment from Judgment Day where Finn Balor says how Seth Rollins' open challenge is canceled because of him. And he wants the crowd to sing his song like they'll be singing his funeral. Rhea then puts over Finn, saying he'll take the world title, and she's going to put the women's division on lockdown. It's literally on lockdown because nobody's able to face Rhea Ripley, apparently. Not Rhea's fault, but of course, there's just nobody there to fight her right now. Damian Priest's going to win Money in the Bank, and her Latino heat is going to put down Cody Rhodes. Of course, Damian Priest gets his words in. Dom tries to speak, but of course, the crowd's just giving him the big-time heat he's getting. And then basically, they challenge Cody Rhodes for a trios tag match later on in the show. So I was thinking, and I'll get to that really quickly, but I was thinking when they announced that, I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I was kind of hoping, like, of course, with how this Raw started, again, Ciampa came back, the beatdown, I thought maybe we could get like a little surprise here. Have Cody Rhodes, 2 mystery partners. What if it was Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa? Cody Rhodes, DIY versus the Judgment Day. Ooh! That sounded very exciting. Until, of course, it was a very predictable option that my own fiance predicted. So, before we reveal it, we're about to reveal who it is. We had this story going on throughout the night backstage. And we've noticed for the past couple weeks, this is where the show started to fall off, in my opinion. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are walking around. And you've noticed how Kevin Owens has, like, just randomly started flipping out for no reason. Well, this show, they finally labeled Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn called him a rageaholic. And says he's got anger issues. And basically, it's starting to tease, like, are they going to do like a Team Hell No thing with him where they bring in Dr. Shelby? Remember when they tried to do that in 2018 with Bayley and Sasha Banks? It was just horrible, the one we could bond back. Yeah, they're probably going to do it again on Kevin Owens. I don't know how I feel about that. I just want Kevin Owens to be a badass. I don't want him to be some guy that just has a rage. Like that just sounds like something that like Vince McMahon's like stuck on. He'll want Kevin Owens to flip out every single week for no reason whatsoever. Because honestly, it's starting to not make sense why he's flipping out for no reason whatsoever. He sounds like he doesn't sound himself when he does that. But it's probably because it makes Vince McMahon go ha 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 ha. If you can make Vince laugh, he'll keep having you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. But that was the thing. Like basically, he was trying to prove that he couldn't. He was trying to prove to Sami that he can control his anger. But basically, in the night, it was nothing. And he ended up being the tag partners for Cody Rhodes later on in the show. And it was kind of like, you could have guessed that from miles away. they had the main event match, and it was decent. But at that point, because of how tired I was, and two, because of how much this show had fallen off the cliff after the first half hour, 45 minutes, I just didn't care. I'm sorry. I'm sure it was a solid match, but I just didn't care. Because once again, you knew the Judgment Day would lose. Because that's all they do, is they lose and lose and lose and lose, or squash Natalya. We'll get to her in a second also. So yeah, I don't care much for this Kevin Owens Rageaholic storyline. But whatever. Whatever, we had that going on. And then, I forgot something else I did like. Chelsea Green. Before her and Sonya Deville took on Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. I wish I could just call her Casey Catanzaro again. They had this TikTok video package. It's called the Karen Reel. Basically having these highlights of Chelsea Green having hissy fits in public. I thought they were awesome. When I saw those, I'm like, dang, it's only been not long since they veered away from that. I love those moments. I'm like, that's the Chelsea Green that entertains me. It reminded me again that they gotta get her away from Sonya Deville. I'm sorry, her and Carmella I think would have been great, but of course I get that Sonya's kind of Carmella's replacement because Sonya's away. Carmella's away on maternity leave. But I'm sorry. I gotta put it this way. To me, they've ran Sonya Deville into the ground with her character. She's basically the female Baron Corbin. Because they gave her a corporate character that, was excellent on the microphone. But then after a while, she basically turned into Adam Pearce is a big old meanie. He's not giving me everything I wanted. And literally, it's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's bland. It's boring. And it's to a point where it's I just don't want this character on my TV. I want the 2020 Sonya Deville. The one we got in the feud with her and Mandy Rose. The one we got that they originally put her with Dolph Ziggler because they didn't think she could talk. Once they proved she could talk, they let her go on her own. That was a Sonya I could have seen as a world champion. This Sonya, I can't stand this Sonya. But when I saw those Chelsea Green TikTok videos, I'm like, dang it, that's the Chelsea I want. At this point, I'd rather have her just go off on her own. Let her do her singles run. I think by herself, if she's not with Sonya, if she's by herself, she stands out. But with Sonya, it's dragging her down. But they had a match with Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance get the victory. It was a solid match. Again, I've liked the two matches I've seen those two wrestle so far on the main roster. They feel like a legitimate tag team. But then, of course, things really go downhill because we have the Hurt Business once again get squashed by Indus Sher. Indus Sher just ain't it. I just don't know what it is. They drive me nuts. Is it because of Jinder Mahal? Is it because I look at them and I know that they're guys that are only getting this push because of Vince McMahon. And I know that WWE has definitely been doing a lot more overseas shows. And I'm pretty sure because I knew, although they announced last week that the September pay-per-view is going to be Payback, weren't they supposed to do a show in India this fall? So I'm pretty sure Indus Sher is only getting a push because of that rumored show. And I keep saying this. I know we have Pretty Deadly already taken on them at Money in the Bank. If Pretty Deadly do not win the tag titles off of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which I don't want them to, don't be surprised if they give them the Indus Sher. But again, I don't get them. I don't get them. They're just another big man, boring team that, again, just literally have nothing to them. Nothing to them. Jinder Mahal to me. I'll never be able to get behind him. I don't care. And the fact they keep squashing Shelton. Okay, I'm sorry. Shelton and Cedric actually tried to dominate the game, but then they just got squashed. And I was just like, at first I'm like, yeah, get him, Shelton. Get him, Cedric. Get him. And then, damn it. So that sucked. Oh yeah, I'm skipping that segment, saving it for last. Matt Riddle took on Ludwig Kaiser. They addressed again that Matt Riddle took out Giovanni Vinci, but I'm starting to worry because remember when Gunther first came up to the main roster? All he came with was Ludwig Kaiser. They kept Giovanni Vinci in NXT and tried to repackage him. I'm scared Vince is trying to do that. I mean, they kind of just wrote him off television randomly. And then everything recently has been nothing but Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther. So I'm worried that they're trying to basically do what Vince originally had planned for Gunther. And hopefully not bury him. Because remember, if Vince stuck around for a few more weeks last July, he was going to bury Gunther and send him back to NXT. Because he soured on him. Yeah, look at a year later, he is one of the best Intercontinental champions we've had in quite a while. But Matt Riddle beat Ludwig Kaiser. Afterwards, Gunther and Kaiser attacked Matt Riddle, and that was that. By the way, I noticed Matt Riddle hasn't used the scooter anymore, which I kind of like that, to be honest. He doesn't need the scooter. That's just not him. But, there's all that. Oh gosh, then we have Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders. All this feud is hyping up Maxime Dupree getting in the ring. That's all it is. They had a segment where they were teaching Maxime Dupree how to do a suplex. And all this match really featured was her doing a freaking suplex on Valhalla. Isn't Valhalla also supposed to have a little bit more of a character to her? Again, she's there, she has the makeup, she talks sometimes, but she has no character. Viking Raiders, though, win from a hip toss into a knee. That was that. Oh, yeah. Then we were supposed to have a rematch, non-title, with Rhea Ripley and Natalya. Natalya is backstage in Gorilla. And she mentions once again that what happened at Night of Champions rocked her to her core, and she's trying to figure out where she fits in all this. Tonight's her second chance to prove to Rhea that she belongs and to prove that to herself. And then I thought, okay, let me see if she'll last longer than 69 seconds. Well, this match was 0 seconds because it didn't even start. Natty gets on the ramp and Rhea just attacks her like she's a nobody. Poor Natalya. Okay, are they trying to turn her heel again? Because that's not going to work. They've done that how many freaking times? And with how many times they've buried her on TV, this is going to do nothing for her. This isn't going to help her. She's just buried further and further into the ground. And I don't get why they do this to her. Why? She's talented. She's well liked by all the wrestlers. Again, I've been watching Total Divas with my fiance. This woman's loved. And at one point, back 6 years ago, they were going to try to do what they were trying to do with Ember Moon before she got released. They were trying to transition her into a coach. Why? Why? So yeah, all they're doing with Rhea, again, not Rhea's fault, but all they can think of for Rhea Ripley is for her to beat the shit out of Natalya every single week. And I don't get it. It does nothing for anybody. It does nothing for Natty. It makes her look worse. And it does nothing for Rhea. Right now, you have Rhea Ripley holding a title that apparently nobody can fight for. Nobody. So even whoever wins Money in the Bank, they ain't cashing on Rhea. God, that just pisses me off. And then Raquel Rodriguez is being interviewed in Gorilla, and then she has a confrontation with Rhea, and then Raquel goes out and she has a match with Trish Stratus with Zoey Stark in her corner. First off, this match was definitely the worst I've seen Trish since I've started watching. She got freaking ragdolled by Raquel Rodriguez. And yes, Raquel is big, but I'm sorry, she is not on the level of Trish. And Trish, I keep saying, at her age, she's like, what, 47, 48? 47, I keep looking it up. 47 years old. And all her matches, she still looked excellent. This match, she looked weak. They booked her like a typical ass heel in this match. And I hated it. I hated it. And then, of course, during the match, Zoey Stark tries getting involved. But then Becky Lynch comes out there and attacks Zoey from behind. And then Trish gets involved. And Becky has enough time to react, knows that Trish is there. And she still attacks Trish, causes the DQ, costs Raquel Rodriguez the match. We've seen that happen how many times? So what are they going to do now? Are they going to have Raquel Rodriguez be like, oh, we feel bad that you got screwed out of your opportunity, Raquel, so we're going to give you a title match against Rhea Ripley. That's horrible ass booking! It makes no freaking sense! Why are you rewarding people who lose title shots? And then they win the title and you don't give a damn! We've seen that booking how many stinking times? We want people to get pushed. And then they book them like crap. But as crappy as they book them, then they give them the title. Once nobody cares. Look at Braun Strowman. Look at Asuka. Look at Matt Riddle when he won the U.S. title a couple years ago. They booked him like garbage. He lost to Bobby Lashley like 5 times in a row. 5 times in a row. And then in a triple threat match, they gave him the title. It's like saying you could win the World Series by losing 5 playoff games in a row, but you still get rewarded something. How much freaking sense does that make? That which is a preview for my Logan Paul rant. Braun Breaker had a solid interview backstage, hyped up his match for NXT. Oh yeah. And then what the heck is up with this Bronson Reed, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Ricochet feud? It's doing absolutely nothing for all 3 of them. They just keep getting involved in each other's matches because Ricochet and Nakamura are all involved in Money in the Bank. Bronson Reed lost to Shinsuke. But Shinsuke and Ricochet are just fighting over getting their hands on Bronson Reed, and it makes no sense. It's bringing Bronson Reed down. It really is. God. Then we had the main event. So I guess it's time to rewind and go back to the part that infuriated me the most on this show. So, we were told last week that Logan Paul was returning this week. And when I heard that, I thought maybe he's setting up for something at SummerSlam. We'll see what he does. Well, I heard rumblings. And then the moment they turned the lights on, and that scumbag is sitting on top of a ladder, kept looking up at those Money in the Bank contracts, I'm like, they're going to put him in Money in the Bank. They're going to put him in Money in the Bank. They're going to put the guy who's wrestled. Again, let me remind you what I said earlier about why this pissed me off. Yes, I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. But yes, he is an awesome wrestler. Yes, I could believably see him as a world champion. Yes, he plays the character right at getting the heat. Both because of the person he is and the stuff that he's gotten away with. Stuff like scamming people. Stuff like insulting his own friend on a podcast for Christianity. Tell him he has to go see therapy because this Jesus thing ain't helping you. That set me off big time. other things he's done that he's gotten away with. Someone like that who's successful, they don't sit well with me. That's why I don't like the guy. I can't deny, again, he is talented in the ring. But let's state the facts here. Well, first, let's talk about this promo, what was all said, and then I'll explain the biggest reason why this pissed me off. So Logan Paul was in the ring, and of course he's getting booed. He's like, I feel the love, so many kids in the crowd, full of potential and ready to achieve greatness like I have. And then he talks about he only became great when he left Cleveland, how Cleveland actually does suck. He talked about how Cleveland keeps losing. His brother lost his last fight. He lost to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And heck, a Cleveland guy, Miz, lost tonight. But he says he's going to put respect on greatness in this city's name. Because he made a call to some executives. And he got himself a special invitation to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And he will cash in and take a title from whomever he wants, whenever he wants, and he's going to come back to Cleveland to celebrate. So again, as I said, personal feelings aside of what I think of the guy outside of the ring, which, okay, impacts this a little bit. Let's state the facts here. Logan Paul, I don't care if he has 23 million subscribers. I don't care that he's popular on the internet. Logan Paul has only wrestled 4 matches in WWE. He won the first 2. He lost the next 2. He lost the next 2. He lost to Roman Reigns. Actually, make it 3 because he also didn't win the Royal Rumble. Okay, technically that don't count. That don't quite count. But as singles matches, one-on-one, the last 2 he has lost. So to me, he's still kind of a rookie. Right? Rookies don't get special privileges to the top. There have been how many other wrestlers, most of them who are already in this match, that have worked their ass off for years and years and years. Natalya, LA Knight, Ricochet, Chad Gable, Johnny Gargano, all these guys who are barely scratching the surface at getting opportunities, and Logan Paul, who, yes, is an excellent wrestler in the ring, is literally already getting like a Brock Lesnar treatment to have a free pass, not have to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. After 4 matches, and he's lost the past 2? That's insulting. That is absolutely insulting to every single wrestler there who has worked their ass off and they gotta scratch, claw, dig in the dirt, roll in the mud, beg for opportunities. And all Logan Paul has to do is ask? I hate that thing so much. If you want an opportunity, all you had to do was ask. No, an opportunity has to be earned. Logan Paul should not be getting a free pass into the Money in the Bank ladder match. And you want to know something? I'm pretty sure now Logan Paul's going to win. He's probably going to win. He'll probably cash in on Seth Rollins, hold the belt for a month, and have a rematch just to lose the title back to Seth at SummerSlam. You have to once again rely on somebody who was not even in the wrestling business to come in and to get you more viewers. I am just so so sick of that. I mean, okay, let's turn this to a positive. What if they don't put the briefcase on Logan Paul? At this point, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they're going to put the briefcase on Logan Paul. If they don't, I would say the best thing to do, have this match to set up a feud with him and Ricochet for SummerSlam. They had that spot. I'm sure that'd be a hell of a good match. But instead, we're going to give a guy, again, who's wrestled 4 matches and have lost the past 2. I don't care if they're good. To me, that's just like a good baseball team losing a few games in a row, but they still get rewarded with something that someone who's won like 20 games in a row should be getting. Logan Paul has no reason to be challenging for the world title. I don't care how many subscribers he has. I don't care how popular he is. He has only wrestled 4 stinking matches and has lost the past 2. There is no reason he should be getting this opportunity. Because he didn't even earn it. Maybe if he won the past couple matches, maybe I'd forgive it. Yes, I would hate the fact that he'd probably get in the world title and everything, but I could so forgive because he at least is a good wrestler. He's a good wrestler. I'll give him that. He's good at getting the heat because just of who he is. He is positioned as a heel. I'm okay with that. I am not okay with the fact that he can just get privileged and be given an opportunity to get the world title and wrestle one of the biggest matches of the year just because he's popular. He's not a long-time wrestler. He's a part-timer. I don't care how good he is. He has not earned his spot at the top yet. He hasn't. And I just loved it, though. And here's the thing. Afterwards, we had like basically everybody who was in the match come out and say their thing. Ricochet said something. He even mentioned their spot at the Rumble when they collided each other. Like I said, that made me want to see a match between the two of them. If you want to use this match to set up a match at SummerSlam with Logan Paul and Ricochet, be my guest. And then we had Shinsuke come out, and again, he starts saying this crap about Money in the Bank and this, and that. I'll skip LA and I'll do him last, but Santos Escobar came out and said his thing, and then Pete Dunne, Butch came out and just went right after Logan Paul. But the best part of this was when LA Knight came out. And he came out, I'm just like, crap. What scripted crap is he going to say now? No. He was 100% LA Knight. Crowd was screaming for him. And he says, let me talk to you. He says, he talks trash about the other guys, and he says Logan Paul, he can bring Logan Paul a map with an exact direction where he can stick each and every bottle of Prime up his ass. Yeah! And I'm like, boom! Put that son of a bitch right in his place. Put him in his place. That's a star. That is someone who needs to have the briefcase. LA Knight should still... Okay, I'll take... LA Knight's still my number one pick. I want to win. Or I will take Damian Priest. But right now, I'm setting my expectations so low. So low. Because I am pretty sure... Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to check the spoilers. Because once again, I will not be able to watch Money in the Bank live. Because I'm getting married on Monday Money in the Bank. And I don't want it to ruin my day. I will watch it the next day with my fiance, who would then be my wife. And then, because I do not want Logan Paul winning Money in the Bank and becoming World Heavyweight Champion to ruin my wedding day. And that's another thing too. Isn't the whole point of this World Heavyweight Championship to be on someone like Seth Rollins, who wants to make a world title relevant, defend it weekly, and then we're just going to give it to a part-timer who won't defend it until SummerSlam? We have literally seen hypocritical booking with this World Heavyweight title. We're told it's a Raw exclusive title. Then SmackDown superstars are getting involved in a tournament to crown a new champion. I was okay with them doing what they did with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's about to come up. I was okay with that. But when you just have a draft and you say everything's exclusive to certain shows, and then you have SmackDown stars involved in your World Heavyweight Championship match, tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when Vince McMahon and the WWE tells us lies. A lot when it comes to that World Heavyweight title. A hell of a lot. So yeah, I don't like that Logan Paul is in Money in the Bank. Again, not because I don't like him. Not because of that. He didn't earn it. He did not earn his spot in that match. I am just sick and tired of WWE bringing in these outsiders who some, yes, catch on, but are immediately being thrown in positions that a lot more people in the company who have barely been given a chance even get that opportunity. That's just terrible. That is just absolutely terrible. So yeah, I got everything off my chest. That's my rant on Raw. Again, I enjoyed maybe the first half hour, 45 minutes. I think everything I enjoyed up until after the stuff with Chelsea Green. And then after that TikTok series, and credit to the match with her and Sonya and Katana and Kaden. After that, I hated the show. I absolutely hated everything else about the show. I gave it a D+. This week's Raw gets a D+ from me. And once again, if you have a problem with my opinions, just don't talk to me. Don't be telling me to F off, screw you, you're wrong, you're stupid. If you disagree, it's okay. But if you're going to call me out and call me an idiot, tell me to F off because of my opinions, then don't watch my stuff. Don't follow me on social media. Don't do anything. I don't want anything to do with you. So, that's my thoughts on Raw. What are your guys' thoughts on Raw? What are your guys' thoughts on Tommaso Ciampa's return? What are your guys' thoughts on Seth Rollins and Finn Balor? What are your thoughts, of course, also on Kevin Owens' Rageaholic gimmick? Rhea Ripley squashing Natalya every single week. And, of course, what do you guys think of Logan Paul getting handed an opportunity of a lifetime? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter at TheClubWithTheMan93. And also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at TheClubWithTheMan1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. And don't ever forget, in order to be superior to Logan Paul, well, in order to be superior to the man, you don't have to be Logan Paul. I'm sorry. You've got to be the man. And for I am, not Logan Paul, for I am the man himself.